Greetings, Bat Warriors. Greetings. Greg's here for a whole new exciting adventure in the kitchen. We're going to do some cooking tonight, talking about life, trying to stay healthy, cooking one of my favorite meals, which is like it's kind of like a taco deal, but I'm super healthy on as much fresh veggies, organic as possible. And I'm not going to be using any meat tonight. So at the end of the day, you guys can see how delicious some of this vegan food is. I'll be using some seitan and some other delicious ingredients. Quinoa, got that up in there. What's up, everybody? We tried some new things. Been talking about how much I love to cook. Stay healthy, stay strong. Food is all of our health. Got the puppy here. I'm at the ranch. So I may be stepping in and out of the camera, but I'm trying new things. I hope you're willing to try new things in life. And cooking is one of the most important things. I'm always talking about that health and nutrition. Right, we talk about the 4 areas of health, right? We have what? Mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and you guessed it, physical health. Physical health will not exist if you are not eating healthy. And I'm somebody that in my mid-30s, I let my ass go. I got super overweight, and I had to get it back. I had to get back that health and nutrition. And so for me, in 2020, I actually changed. I switched up. I met this really pretty girl, and she was vegan. And I was totally not vegan. I was like, man, I don't know nothing about that. I don't do that around here. And yet she was able to convince me to try something new. And I'm grateful I did. It actually changed my life. It changed my whole entire life from the inside out. There's an incredible documentary about plant-based eating. It's called Forks Over Knives. And so I do love to cook. And I do eat meat now. I'll give you that context. So I'm not like some hardcore vegan activist guy. Man, I'm 46 years young. I'm more powerful than I've ever been, more strong than I've ever been, but I'm eating my health, right? And you're eating your health. So if you're unhealthy, it's because you're eating unhealthy. And we all know we're eating unhealthy. 40%, you guys, 40%. 40% of US adults are obese. And I used to be a part of that. And I switched up my nutrition. Even maybe like 10 years ago, I was seeing a nutritionist at the VA as a veteran. They gave me a nutritionist. I'm cutting up we call it calabacitas here in New Mexico, but it's squash. Got some jalapenos in there. I'm making basically like a taco dish. So I'm cutting up some yellow squash. I already cut up the zucchini squash. But check this out. So I used to go to a VA nutritionist 10 years ago. So I was like 36 years old. And I fought against what she would call the 80-20 rule. Anybody know what the 80-20 rule is? 80-20 rule, right? So 80% of our health is our nutrition. 80% of our health is our nutrition. And I fought against that. I was like so stubborn. I'm like, I still got to eat my hot dogs and my burgers and my pizzas and my tacos. And I got to have it, right? Because food is pleasure. Food makes me feel good. But it didn't do me any favors, right? I got really fat and I hated the way I felt. And she said, it's 80-20. It's nutrition. Like you would lose weight if you just change what you were eating. It's not even so much about exercise. It's 20% exercise. So I've been on like this wild nutritional journey in my life. I think most of us have. I can tell you the things that have helped me the most is being open to trying new things, learning how to cook for yourself, healthy ingredients. You cannot control what you think is a healthy meal at a restaurant. A healthy meal at a restaurant is probably loaded with oil, loaded with butter, and none of that is going to do you any favors. Even if you think it's the healthy, even the dressing, right? A salad. I got a salad, but it's just doused in dressing. It's not healthy. And so to me, definitely having a passion to cook, understanding the importance of nutrition, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Healthy in, superfood in. Guess what? You get Superman, Superwoman out. And so I love to cook. And the cool thing about when I did switch to a plant-based diet in 2020 was the only adjustments I had to make was I substituted the plant. I did two things. I substituted plant animal proteins like beef, chicken, pork for just vegetables mostly. So like instead of ground beef, I would use either cauliflower, right, or mushrooms. Today, however, because there is an issue with the vegan diet. I took it to the furthest extreme that I could in terms of packing in protein, right? You don't get arms like that if you're not like needing lots and lots of protein. And I wasn't feeling satiated. So last summer, I opened myself up to incorporating beef back into my diet. But I've kind of, after about 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, wherever we're at now, I've kind of swung back towards what I was used to. And it's like protein isn't everything, right? I'm making some quinoa here. And quinoa, which is a grain, it's a great substitute over rice. Like instead of rice, swerve on rice, do quinoa. Cut rice out of your diet altogether. That's just my advice. I'm not a nutritionist though. I'm a badass motherfucker that takes care of his health. But this has 6 grams of protein, quinoa, 6 grams of protein, right? Again, we need lots of protein here. 6 grams of protein. I guarantee you it's like triple what rice has. And again, if you care about your health, protein. The other thing I'm going to use, I do use some tofu, 17 grams, right? I'm going to add this. And I'm using some seitan, which is chorizo flavored because I'm making like a taco style. And this has 17 grams per serving too. There's 4 servings in there. So lots of protein in this meal. Very healthy, very nutritious. And yet this is a part of that life, right? This is a part of doing life on life's terms, is learning how to cook, learning how to make healthy food. And a lot of that means what you'll see in here is a lot of veggies. And one of the things you won't see me using is oil. I don't cook with oil. A lot of people say, well, how are you going to cook those veggies down? Well, the veggies have water in it. As long as you don't turn it too high heat, as long as you're not too high heat here, these veggies are going to cook down. They're not going to stick. They're not going to do anything weird like that. And yet, in one of the documentaries, I think it's Forks Over Knives, they literally say that the average American, right, and we're way overweight, the average American consumes, I think it's 2.5 to 3 barrels of oil per year. Think about it. A barrel of oil is like a big ass drum of oil, not like a small barrel. It's probably like my height, right? Those big ass barrels of oil. And here's the thing that wrecks a lot of people. And I get into conversations about this all the time. There is no such thing as healthy oil for your body. You do not need oil. All it's going to do is cause clogged arteries, right? There's no such thing as healthy oil. Your bloodstream does not need the introduction of oil unless it's coming from a natural source. Like if you're eating, some animal protein and you get the fats that are already in there, that's more than enough. But I used to be the guy making spaghetti, dousing the water with oil. Everything needed oil here, oil there, butter. And guess what? 40% of Americans are obese, right? That's an easy thing that you could subtract from your nutrition is butter, is oil. Oil. I know a lot of you are like, I'm not taking butter out, but the oil. And so I practically use hardly ever oils or butters. I don't need either of those things. And that makes a huge difference, right? So you have a lot more power than you think in terms of your nutrition. Right? These veggies, the oil's such a small measurement of flavor profile. I would much rather taste the vegetables than oil. And I guarantee you my body, my gut would much rather digest the vegetables than oil. Look it up. Your body doesn't know what to do with the oil. So there's no such thing. Your body doesn't know a difference between castor oil or vegetable oil or olive oil or whatever other kind of fancy oils. When they say that oil is healthy, it's like there's a scale of like, okay, this one's really unhealthy and this one's like pretty unhealthy, and they're still all oils are on the unhealthy chart. There's nothing healthy about oil in your body. And again, that's just one of the biggest pieces about the nutrition is being flexible to try new things. Are you willing to try new things? And it's one of those things for me. I literally adjust my nutrition every season. Every season, I'm making little adjustments. I'm 46 years young. I cannot eat the same things that I craved when I was 20, 30s, and even last year. And I'm not saying that I don't ever eat stuff like pizza, but for me, 5 pizzas a year, man, 5. And that doesn't mean I eat the whole pizza. It means that I'll go to a pizza place 5 times in 1 year. That's it. Once that 5 is done, I'm done. I got to be disciplined until the reset. And you know what? Probably by the time I turn 50, that'll probably be down to like 3 times a year, 2 times a year. I don't know. What I can tell you though, yeah, the oil and the refined sugar, right? The sugar's another one that I pulled out of there, man. You had to pull out the sugar too, out of the diet. So we got quinoa here. We got some fresh veggies there. Right, I'm gonna be adding in some tomatoes and chili, some corn. I'll let that all simmer down, and then I'll add that chorizo and the tofu later. I'm making quinoa here, so just again, everything I eat is high protein, and I do still eat some meat, but in 2020 I switched to vegan, and my body healed. I mean, I have the blood work to show through the VA the results of literally being pre-diabetic. I mean, all kinds of red flags in my blood work to literally not going to just normal, optimal. Optimal is a whole nother chart that most people never will have a doctor saying, hey, you're in the optimal zone when it comes to your blood. Because most people are eating all kinds of junk food, and it's not going to do you any favors. It won't do you any favors. And nutrition is so important. I don't think it's the most important thing. I personally think your mind, right? Your mind, way more important, getting your mind right. And for me, that means sobriety, right? Getting the sober mind, healing the emotions, because again, most of us, our eating is attached to our emotional woundedness, right? The more emotional baggage you're carrying around, the more likely you are to eat your feelings. And when you're eating your feelings, I promise you, you know better. You know you're not feeling great. You know that you go and indulge on something, and the next day you wake up and you feel like shit, and you probably look like shit, and you're doing it to yourself. And you have the power to stop that. But are you willing to? Right? This is what it takes. This is behind the scenes. And again, I'm someone that meal preps, so everything I'm making here now, this will probably last me 4 days in terms of like alternating lunch and dinners, right? I have the containers to prepackage all this food, right? Super high protein. And yet That's what works for me. Again, I'm a divorced guy, and I love to cook. And so since I don't have the big family around all the time, guess what? I like to just I can meal prep, still make big meals, and I don't mind eating the same thing every day. That's just my own way of doing life, though, because I want to stay fit for life, right? I want to stay lean and fit for life. That's me. You do you. I love being active, energized. I'm 46 years young, but I feel like I'm probably 26 years young. And I know that most of the guys that are in the gym, 20s, 30s, seeing me pick up 500 pounds deadlifts, they're like, damn, that dude's doing something right. So maybe you guys can grab a hold of that, right? No, I don't think meat's bad. I don't have a thing about meat. I just think we're overdoing it. I don't need the only thing I've reintroduced into my diet is beef. Right? I've eaten beef. I've had a tiny bit of chicken. I'm probably going to do some fishing this year. Fishing out here is great. So I love fresh trout. So I'll probably eat some fish. But again, I went vegan for 4 years. And I took it to the extreme that I could in terms of like dialing in all the high proteins that I could. And I just felt like I needed a little more. And that's just me making those adjustments. I didn't become a vegan because I'm an activist or anything weird like that. It was all nutrition based. It was solely for nutrition. And yet it changed my life because it gave me back my vitality, my youth, like you name it. I thought I was going to die 10 years ago in my sleep. I had the CPAP, right? I was carrying around 60 more pounds of weight, visceral fat. I mean, I was just a total mess. And yet I get on here all the time talking about transformation. This is not a this is absolutely the real deal example of me being an example of saying total transformation. Mind, the emotions, the spiritual, and the physical body. So a lot of people are afraid to cook, too lazy to cook. You could probably be more like that. It's just, you have a lot of limiting beliefs. Oh, no one likes my cooking or whatever. And it's like, well, then go take a class. If no one likes your cooking, I guarantee you most people hearing this video within an hour's drive or less from where you live right now, guess what? There's probably a community college where you could take a cooking class, and it's probably low cost. Maybe it's like $100 for 2, 3, 4 weekends. I've worked in higher ed for 10 years. They have adult ed classes that if you don't think you're a good cook, you can go and learn how to cook and try new things. I mean, that's even a challenge that I put on myself, that when I walk in the produce department, I always am open to grabbing something that I've never cooked with and just see what happens, trying to find a recipe to just have fun in life. Cooking should be a fun activity. Eating should not only feed your heart, it should feed your soul, but it should superpower your body. Everything that's going into here is packed with superfoods. You wonder why it's like got all this energy, got all this strength, this youthfulness to me. It's because I'm eating right. And I used to not eat right. And so I'm grateful that I have had that experience to truly put that at the forefront. But again, when you're stressed out, when you're overwhelmed by life, most of the time you're going to want convenience, right? We want convenience. We want the fast, man. We want to just be able to drive through the dumpster, get our food, get the calories, and we feel like shit, right? It feeds a little need up front, but long term, that bill's going to come due. The time that you don't invest in learning how to cook healthy food, right? That bill is going to come due, and that bill is going to be you getting knocked on your ass in a hospital because of something, right? Heart disease, the number one killer, heart disease. And that is absolutely connected to our nutrition, to what we're putting in our bodies. And guess what? You have control over what you put in your body. Whether you want to have control, or you don't want to have control, you need to realize you do. It is your responsibility. But that's like, again, for an adult to say, yeah, we want to make 1,000 different reasons why you can't do it. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't have time to go grocery shopping. That's bullshit. They do the grocery shopping for you now because of the thing that happened a few years ago. You can drop an order, and guess what? Your food will be ready, waiting for you. You ain't got to you ain't even got to get tempted by walking through all the snack aisles. But again, wait. The truth is, we got an excuse, right? You got an excuse? Is that what it's really about? Is it really about you don't know how to break from the current pattern you're in and to create a new pattern? And that is something that is very challenging. Creating new habits. It takes a lot of willpower. It takes a lot of focus. And that's why that mental piece is so important. That's why working on the emotions is so important, so you can emotionally self-regulate when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling frustrated, angry, whatever it is. That instead of the temptation of buying the whole bag of chips or whatever your thing is, candy, sugar, chips, sweet, savory, you can live inside of a very tight nutritional box. And even if you eat a lot of this, you're not going to pay a hefty price the next day. Right? To me, that's worth your weight in gold, is knowing that nutrition is so important, man. It's so important. And just because you don't know how to cook or don't think you can cook good, that does not mean you can't learn. That's a whole new cool thing. You never know. One of you might be the next Michelin star chefs, but you never gave yourself a chance to learn how to cook. Instead, you've just always said, I don't know how to cook, so I'm not going to cook, right? Is that easier? Is that the easiest way to do it? What's going on? What are you cooking for dinner tonight? What are you eating? What kind of food did you eat today? Anybody eat fast food? Does anybody eat fast food 5 times a week? Rarely do I eat that fast food. Like, that's like, man, again, 5 pizzas a year. Fast food though, not drive-throughs. For sure, no drive-throughs, you guys. No Cokes, no drive-throughs. And trying to put as much veggies and clean protein. As long as it's clean protein, high quality. A lot of us, finances can be an issue when it comes to food. That's a sad thing, right? Is that in many ways we think high quality food is attached to money, but you know what else is attached to money? Low quality food. Convenience. You're paying for convenience, man. Like recently I bought a homeless lady a bunch of food at a fast food joint. It was like chicken sandwiches or something, and it was like 4 chicken sandwiches. It was like $35. I was like, dang, $35, And it's like, you go to the grocery store, if you know how to shop, and you live in a box, in terms of your nutrition, like, you can go a long ways with food, right? What I'm throwing down here, this is gonna feed me for at least 4 days. And not just only this food, but this will be like my lunch, dinner rotation. I do a shake too. I do an overnight oats. And then I facilitate with some nutritional bars, but most of them have either 1 gram or no grams of sugar. 1 gram or no grams of sugar for the nutritional bars that I use as supplementals, right? I'd rather eat that shit than candy bars and candies. And it's got, most of them got 20 grams of protein in them. So again, that's just sort of like, a lot of people don't think that they can fully stay healthy eating a lot of veggies, getting away from all the big, heavy foods. And I'm here to tell you, I got the receipts. The receipts are here. What's not here is can opener is not here. What are you guys up to tonight? What are you cooking? What are you cooking tonight? Who here still does cook? Anybody? Does anybody still cook food? Quinoa's so good. If you like rice, I would highly recommend that you give quinoa a try. Red, doesn't matter the color. There's white, red, tricolor. The reason why this shit rocks is because it's packed with protein. Packed with protein. 6 grams per serving. A quarter cup has 6 grams. That's a lot of protein. You compare that with rice. It doesn't even compete. And rice is usually just a filler, at least that. Very high quality plant protein. Most people don't even believe that, huh? How many of y'all didn't even know that there's such a thing as plant protein? Wow, plant protein. Shoot, I'm the best meal on the plate. Are you kidding me? I'm the full course meal. You know I taste the best. Abso-freaking-lutely. LOL. I love the humor. I love the humor. So I do use some canned stuff. That makes it a little bit easier. I like adding these fire roasted diced tomatoes with green chili. Got some organic sweet corn. I'll add those into there as well. And we're going to be styling, especially if you got some avocados. Put yourself some avocados. What are you guys cooking? Anybody cooking food tonight? You just watching? You going to learn? You going to learn? Right? I'm going to start helping people to cook a lot more, especially some of the meal prep stuff. It's really interesting how so many people are intimidated by cooking. They just think they suck, or they just don't understand it. They didn't get taught it. Mom just always cooked everything. Or you're just always eating out. I don't know. I mean, it's one area that you can absolutely start to really feel better about your life is cooking. When you start figuring out some healthy meals. And even if you're somebody that's like a hardcore meat eater, if you were to just you ate a whole can of corn. I've had days like that, bro. I've had days of eating whole cans of corn. Oh man. Yeah, there's definitely been days in my life where a whole can of corn was the option. But look at that. Just that's gonna be so good, you guys. You won't even be able to tell. This is gonna look like a taco, like a full on. This is basically, I got like 3 different versions of this that I make. One's taco, one's barbecue, and the other's like an Asian stir fry. And I guarantee you, when it's all done, like you ain't gonna be able to tell that, oh, this isn't like taco, Mexican food, but yet it doesn't have any oil. We totally cut the oil, so there's already huge W. It doesn't have any animal proteins in there, and I was saying, a lot of the lower cost meats, especially, man, that shit that's not gonna do you any good. I'm telling you, that shit is killing you. Slowly, that bill's gonna come due. But to me, this kind of cooking, whether you're doing the right, and I'm using seitan, right? Seitan, right? Satan. 17 grams of protein per serving. So this has the whole box has got 68 grams of protein in here, 400 calories. That's a lot of protein. The tofu that I'm going to add's got 17 grams as well. 34 grams of protein in this guy. There's something about the plant proteins, like, I don't know. I don't really like the mystery, like the Beyond. I don't do any of like the Beyond stuff personally. I used to. I tried it a little bit, but it's, even in the vegan world, that shit is junk food. It's pretty unhealthy. That's why you see a lot of like really overweight people that say I'm vegan, but it's like they're eating all the vegan junk food, which there's a lot of it. This stuff right here, the seitan, it's got 0.5 grams of fat per serving in that whole thing I just dumped in there. Right? It looks like ground beef, but only 0.5 grams of fat, and it's got 68 grams of protein. I mean, this is the results, right? 46 years, I'm all natural, no TRTs, none of that. I eat my health, I cook my food, and I don't mind eating the same things on a regular basis. And that's been one of the biggest things that has helped me to break through to the other side of my fitness health journey. Has been a few things. Has been one, a willingness. And so in this meal, I'm gonna throw 3 packs of this seitan in here. So we're talking over 100 and almost 200 grams of protein in all these. You got the quinoa that's rocking almost another 30 grams of protein for the 2 cups I cooked. And we got the tofu here. So again, I'm high protein, but I love plant protein. It just sits on my body. I know it's not for everybody. I'm not going to be trying to push anybody towards being vegan, but if you're a big meat eater, I would highly recommend you doing some research on some vegan dishes, right? And then just substitute like whatever their plant protein is. If you really still want the beef or the chicken, I don't think I'll ever touch pork. Like bacon's off the table. Never. I don't need no bacon, no sausages, no pork at all. Zero pork. And even chicken, I'm not such a fan of. I think eggs are a good protein. I eat them every once in a while. But for me, I prefer my kind of overnight oats with I use they came out with this really bomb high protein yogurt, plant-based. That's so good. It's so good. So I do the overnight oats. Oats got a lot of protein. The overnight oats has it. The oat milk has it. And then I throw usually some walnuts or some kind of nuts in there. Either some mango or I throw mango or blueberries, and then I also use hemp protein. So, I mean, again, I can show you the before and after pictures. I mean, some of you may have seen it, some of you, I don't know. But I changed my life when I changed my nutrition in terms of my physical health, feeling that energy, feeling energized, powerful, unstoppable. And I mean, I've only been going we're at 34 minutes right now. I mean, this is all but done. The quinoa is done. This main dish right here, which is like taco style, it's done, right? We're done. We got a little cleanup, right? And it's like time to eat. And yet this right here combined is going to probably push out to 6 meals for me for the next several days. And then so in like a few days, the other beautiful thing about this is that if you pick up on this type of meal prep, you don't have to cook every day. The people that need a fresh meal every single day, it's like, nah, man. You don't need a fresh meal every day. But every few days, right? you start up the next meal as you're finishing this one off. I'll start the next one, right? I'll do the Asian, or then I'll do the barbecue. That's how I roll. And it's what keeps me going. It's what keeps me feeling my best, right? Feeling my best, looking my best. Feeling way more important, right? The feeling is way more important. And, I don't even know, but I mean, I'm still deadlifting 500 plus pounds at 46 years old, natural. And I know that the food, the nutrition has a lot to do with it. A lot of people say, it's just genetics. And I'm like, I don't know. I know it's some of that. But I know that I wouldn't be able to keep growing and keep progressing if the fuel that I'm putting in my body, right, was questionable. So maybe some food for thought, right? In terms of switching things up, putting together a meal, right? This was a quick live for me to just get on here. We'll probably talk about some other shit after I get done eating. I'm going to eat. I'm going to enjoy this meal, but I did want to kind of switch some things up. Grateful for everybody that tuned in today. If you have any questions about food, meal prep, hit me up, Greg at resultskillexcuses.com. And I would be happy to share with you some of the ingredients that I've included in today's meal. I know that helping people to open up, right, to expand, right? This is a mind expansion. That's why I say the mind is so important, man. If your mind is filled with chemicals and distortions and just being overwhelmed, how are you going to be open to saying, man, let me learn how to cook and let me eat healthy so I can start looking like that guy? You gotta get off whatever it is that's got you, right? That's got you by the throat, that's got you hooked in you. Whatever those addictions are, the vices, it starts there. It starts in the mind, because when you start to allow your mind to heal and get to a really healthy place, you can start seeing life from a new perspective and saying, you know what, healthy food. Oh, the one thing I did forget, black beans. Almost forgot the beans, man. So even just more protein, right? We got protein, more protein. And there's no animals in there. There's no beef. There's no chicken. There's no shrimp. And I guarantee you this meal is 10 times more protein than almost anything that you would be doing that's like taco style with beef, with chicken. Straight up, right? 8 more grams of protein right here, 3.5 servings. So I mean, if we stack up all the protein that's in this thing, it is like it fuels a guy like this. Like, that's it. This is the business card. This is the thing that a lot of you don't see behind the scenes, because I'm just on there talking and walking. But a lot of people ask me about the nutrition. It's like, dude, all nutrition, right? All proteins right here. All protein. Everything that went in here, protein. And there's no animals. And yet, how many people believe, oh man, you gotta have the animal proteins. And it's like, dude, so many of the low cost animal proteins are so unhealthy for you. They're high fat, they're filled with all kinds of hormones and who knows what the fuck else, man. It's sad what they put in those animals to fatten them up, to beef them up so that they can be high production. And yet there's no animals present here, and I guarantee you 10 times more protein. 10 times more protein than anything you could make that's taco. I'd go toe-to-toe with you. We could do the math. I promise you. Most of you, if you're going to do tacos, you're just going to do the ground beef. That's the quinoa right here. It's all plants, and it's nothing but protein. This is what I fuel my body. When I eat this, it digests well. It fills me the proper way, not like just heavy calories. This is filling and fueling. That's the difference. I am being fueled by my food, right? Most of you are just being filled. There's a difference, yes, between being filled and fueled. I am fueled, and you can see how fueled I am. You might just be full, and there's a huge difference when you're putting in food that has vitamins, minerals, nutrients. You feel better about yourself. 80-20 rule. 80% of the equation is nutrition, 20% exercise. Most of you, if you would learn to cook And if you don't know how to cook, man, and even here, just wherever we're at, online, man, there's tons of free cooking classes, right? There's tons of people that are teachers of cooking. It's just, are you willing to learn new things? And this goes to anything in life. The more open you are to learning new things, right, the better off, the better your life will be. But when you stop and say, no, I only do eat this, and right, and yet you know the results you got, it's tough. Right? I gave up the oil, right? There was no oils involved in this meal, right? I didn't need to douse and cook this down, the veggies with oil. Oh man, that's not good for you. There's some oil here in the thing. I don't use it. Dang. But somebody did. Someone used the oil. It's just all fat. It's all fat. Your body doesn't know. There's no protein, right? It's only fat. You're just adding fat to your meal. Why do you need to put fat in there? You don't. You don't need the fat, right? Incredible documentary that you should check out if you're interested in really the state of food. Forks Over Knives. They put 3 guys, I think it was 2 or 3 guys, on a plant-based diet for 12 weeks. They took their blood work before and they took their blood work after. Both of these guys were like coronary heart disease, ticking time bombs, and both of their lives transformed from the inside out. Just like the emotional healing, the mental healing, the body heals from the inside out as well. What you put inside, if you start putting in good nutrition, guess what? You're going to heal your body. Forks Over Knives. I cannot recommend that movie enough. Please watch that movie with an open mind. Just watch it. It's like you don't even got to switch to a plant-based diet. Just realizing how critical the nutrition is. And oil is a huge thing. Kick that out. And clearly low cost. Thank you so much, Em, for the rose. The low cost animal proteins are so unhealthy. You're just thinking, man, I got a steak or I got some ground beef. I'm going to make some burgers. And it's like, man, that food is so fucking bad for you. So bad for you guys. It's toxic. It's literally toxic. And the stats are there. 40%. 40% of Americans are obese. Your health is your wealth. I'll leave you with that. Health is wealth. How bad is fast food? Well, you know it. You know how bad that is. You don't need to hear from me. Like, no, you should never have fast food. No fast food. You're going to pay for that bill will come due. You're going to pay for the convenience of the fast food. That's the problem. You may not pay for it today. You may not pay for it tomorrow, but eventually you're going to pay for that. Number one killer. The number one killer is heart disease. That is directly related to the food you're putting in your body and how your body is trying to process it. And when your heart and your veins get overwhelmed by all the fat and all the oil and all the shit that's in that nasty food that tastes great, right? It's stuck in your body. And you can switch your nutrition to clean it. Veggies will clean your body. I'm telling you guys, I have the receipts. I have my blood work before, right? I have my blood work before when I was like pre-diabetic, like sleep apnea, all kinds of shit. Thought I was gonna die in my sleep. I already had talked about the healthy organic food being higher cost. I don't use that E word, right? That's scarcity mindset, man. That word don't exist, so I don't even know what that means. But it's perceptional. You think it costs more. The other day, I bought a homeless lady 4 chicken sandwiches at a fast food joint, and it cost $35 for 4 chicken sandwiches. So y'all think, oh, that food costs too much. And it's like, it really doesn't. If you cook down, this is 6 meals. Like, if you know how to shop right, I guarantee you what you're paying, what you think you're saving money on by getting the convenience, you're going to pay in your health in the long run, right? Are you willing to see that truth? You're going to pay for it one way or another. Whether it's now or later, you will pay for the garbage that you think is cheaper that you're putting in your body. That bill will come due. And again, you can either hear this message and respond, or you just carry on and have a nice day. I'm going to enjoy my meal, and I'll probably get back on later tonight. We'll be talking more about life, but I just want to try something new. Get in the kitchen. I'm whipping up an all plant-based, basically like a taco stir fry. That's some good food right there, man. That's what fuels the guns like this. That's what fuels these guns, all natural. That's what I'm cooking up. It's delish, I promise you. If you all could be here and try this meal, most of you would say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna figure out whatever you're cooking, how you're cooking it," and I would switch. Again, when I switched to a plant-based / vegan diet, the girl that introduced it to me was beautiful, and she got down my walls. I had the walls up. I used to be the biggest asshole about vegan and, oh man, carrots and kale. I was just a real asshole about it, straight up. But she was pretty enough to get my guard down so that I at least gave it a look. And she said, "Look, you can cook. You like to cook, seasoning and flavors." She said, "All that can be the same. Just substitute the animal protein for plant proteins and see what happens." And it changed my life. I watched the documentary too, Forks Over Knives. So again, thank you guys. I love you. Just wanted to make a little something different in terms of content. Let you guys see behind the wall. Come into my kitchen, come into my space. And I will hopefully see you guys later. I love you guys. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.